Is it... Okay, we're recording. Alright. Don't worry about it. This wasn't totally planned. I don't think I've done a spoiling everything since the first It movie. And I guess I just stopped doing them because people stopped watching them. I didn't really like making them anymore, and I also realized I'm really bad at this, just straight up talking to the camera, no script, just freewheeling it. I'm terrible at it. But I don't really have anyone else to talk to about this movie, and I still want to talk about it, so, got the camera rolling. If I don't upload this, you'll never know about it. Great. So, yeah. This movie, I feel like somebody really creative and good at editing could take the first It movie and the second one and just edit them down into one movie, like one reasonable length movie. I mean, fuck, this movie's 3 hours long. But they could do that. They could edit it down to one movie, which is about a group of friends that found each other as kids, and then they grew up and forgot about each other, and then they all came back together, and then they overcame their trauma and lived better lives. It could be a very touching story and very happy. This movie's not happy. This movie is sad, also scary, kind of scary. Like, it's got jump scares, a lot of CGI. I don't really know what to say about it. I'm a bit out of practice too. I guess it wouldn't really be spoiling everything, just most things. Anyway, so the movie starts off with a gay guy getting murdered. So that's uplifting. And then he gets eaten by Pennywise, and then Mike from the first movie, he still lives in Derry. He has been cursed to remain in this shithole town for 27 years. He's got like a police scanner, he gets the news, he goes to where the guy got killed, and he sees written on like a wall, it says "come home," and then he's got to do the thing. He's got to do the thing he's been waiting 27 years to do. He's got to call everybody. Well, I guess it makes more sense now, like, the movie takes place in 2016 instead of, like, the 80s, which, like, the original story took place in, so I guess it would be a lot easier to get everybody's contact info. So, basically, every time Mike calls somebody, it just fucks up their day. I mean, he calls Richie, and Richie throws up. He calls Eddie, and Eddie crashes his car. And, like, Bill's in the middle of making a movie based on his book that nobody liked the ending of. Beverly, her husband is abusive, and she beats the shit out of him. That was pretty cool. Fuck, who else? Oh, yeah, fucking Stanley. Then there was Stanley. Then there was Stanley. And then there wasn't Stanley, because Stanley killed himself. I never read the original book. I never saw the miniseries. I saw humorous reviews of the miniseries. I'm sure all of you have seen those. And, yeah, I basically knew, like, what the body count was gonna be. Doesn't mean I was happy about it. He just gets the call, he hangs up, and then he yeets himself off this mortal coil. Well, he doesn't yeet himself, he slits his wrists in the bathtub. Whatever. So, like, everybody gets to Derry, and I don't know, I guess they all forgot why they were there, because they're all at a Chinese restaurant. They're all joking around. Again, very heartwarming. I feel like if you just cut out the bits with the scary stuff, you could... Somebody's got to make, like, It Happy Edition. But yeah, they're all joking around. You're just like, man, I really love this group of friends. And then a bunch of scary shit happens. Like, they all remember that they were there to kill the clown. And... oh man, the clown. We'll get to that, I suppose. And then the fortune cookies, they all turn into scary shit, and then that weird, like, it was more of a thing in this movie than I think the last one. There's this black acid that just, like, shows up and burns shit up, and yeah, it's all CG. It doesn't look very good, but they freak out. Mike, like, hits the table with a chair. I think they get kicked out of the restaurant, and they leave. And everybody else is like, what the fuck happened to Stanley? Because the fortune cookie spelled out, guess Stanley couldn't cut it, because it's scary. And they call Stanley's wife, and they find out Stan is dead, and yeah. So everybody decides, fuck this, we're booking it. But Bill decides he'll go with Mike, because Mike says he needs to show him something. And, like, it was so weird. It kind of came out of nowhere. Mike's just like, I went to these Native Americans, and they showed me this ritual on how to, like, destroy it. And then he spikes Bill's drink, and Bill has a trip out, and they're just like, then they both agree that they've got to kill it, and yeah, it was really weird. Like, I guess the deal with Pennywise is that he's like an alien. He came to Earth. He crash landed on Earth like 1 billion years ago, and now he's just here. I mean, fair enough. I mean, if you're stuck there, you're stuck there. He's just here. So, yeah, everybody else, like, they find out that Beverly's been having visions of everybody dying, and apparently if they don't kill it this cycle, which is every 27 years, they all die. They're all gonna die. Yeah. And meanwhile, the bully from the last movie, I think his name was Henry, he's in an insane asylum because he killed his dad. Oh yeah, that reminds me. This movie is the god of smooth flashback transitions. Like, shit, you don't even see it coming. Like, we'll be in the present 1 second, and then just like a smooth camera pan over, and we're in the past. It's actually kind of amazing. A little bit jealous of that editing skill. It's very nice. It's very nice. Sometimes a bit distracting, but very nice. Anyway, so Henry's in an asylum. He sees a red balloon, because that's the sign that Pennywise is there, and he's doing some shit. And then underneath his bed is, like, his friend that got killed in the sewers 27 years ago. And he breaks out of the insane asylum by killing a guard and another patient or something, and he runs outside. And the fence is there, like a chain link fence with barbed wire at the top. I thought he was gonna climb it, but no, he just rips it open, and he's gone. But he gets into a car, and the zombie version of his friend from when he was a kid is driving, and continues to drive him around throughout the rest of the movie. Like, he's just got his zombie bro driving him around. Okay. No, it's fine. This is really silly. So, yeah, so while that's going on, Mike is talking to everybody. He's like, we gotta find tokens, because everybody forgot what the fuck they were doing. And Mike's like, remember, we all split up at that one point in the previous movie, and we have to go find tokens of what happened to us while we were by ourselves. And, like, the first one they find is for Stan, which was in, like, a secret underground bunker that they had, which, I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember from the last movie. I don't know if it was there, but they find, like, a tin full of shower caps to keep spiders from getting in their hair. And then everybody goes off on their own, and they each individually have spooky fucking shit happening to them. And listen, I understand it was a great teaser trailer, not gonna lie, but they gave away everything about Beverly. She goes to her old apartment building, and she goes into the old apartment, and there's an old lady living there, and we all saw the trailer. We all know she's fucking Pennywise. We all know she's gonna be weird and naked. It's like, the fuck, you know? Like, I don't even, like, she goes into what was her old bedroom, which has been converted into like a sewing room. Like, it's got a sewing machine and a mannequin and everything. And since this is Pennywise pretending to be this old lady, does that mean that Pennywise is like a side hobby of making dresses? Because, like, what am I supposed to glean from that? But either way, she finds like an old secret thing she had in her room, and she finds the old postcard with the poem that Ben wrote for her that she thought Bill wrote. Fucking love triangles and shit. And then, yeah, it's fucking creepy. The old lady is terrifying. And she, like, transforms into this monster, and then Bev runs down a hall, and she sees Pennywise at the other end of the hall, putting on, like, paint, makeup, because he's a clown, and he was in the circus back in the day. Like, the thing they explain is, like, Pennywise, like, takes the form of whatever you fear and shit. So to the Native Americans, he appeared as just, like, a regular-ass monster, but why did he stay as a clown for so long? I mean, that was his default for years. Why, though? Like, what'd that have to do with anything? I mean, shit, that was, like, before even clowns were, like, universally scary. I don't know. Anyway, so, Pennywise... Oh, yeah, I forgot. He also killed a little girl underneath some bleachers. It was kind of silly. That kid was a fool. But you know what? It was good acting. But that kid was still a fool. Anyway, so yeah, when Beverly escapes the building, she discovers, oh, it was a condemned building the whole time. Nobody really lived there. Oh. It's spooky. It's way spooky. And, yeah, everybody else, like, they just go through their flashbacks and shit. I don't... Like... Oh, yeah. Bill. He went to the sewer drain that Georgie got killed at, and he yells into the sewer drain, why did you kill Georgie of all people? And Pennywise is like, because you weren't there, because it's a big guilt trip. And Bill ends up yelling at this kid who says that he hears voices coming from the bathtub drain. And yeah, that turned out bad. The kid runs away. It all turns to shit, man. Oh, I don't even remember what happened to everybody else. This is a very long movie, almost 3 hours. I had to pee so bad by the end of it. Ugh. Either way, everybody goes through like a bunch of shit. Like, apparently Richie is gay. I guess they hint at that. They hint at it big time. They never come out and explicitly say it, but, like, they're saying it, man. They're saying it. Oh, yeah! The fucking Paul Bunyan thing. Listen, this movie is ridiculous. Like, half the monsters are just, like, CG things, and it's a bit silly. I mean, as soon as you see the big monster, it's just not scary anymore. It's just kind of a thing that's happening. It sort of feels like an action movie almost. So, yeah. Like, Richie got bullied one time when he was at the arcade as a kid playing Street Fighter. We'll get to the Street Fighter. And he goes to sit down in the park near a statue, like a big statue of Paul Bunyan. And then he, like, rubs his eyes, looks up, and then the statue is missing. And then the statue is next to him, and it attacks him, and it's really big and scary. And it was just absurd. Like, why a giant statue of Paul Bunyan? Why? I don't... Look, I like this movie, but there's so many things that I'm just like, that's not really scary. That's just kind of silly. And then Pennywise shows up in, like, the present time, and he... Pennywise calls out Street Fighter. He does. He says, Richie, do you want to play a game with me? And he's like, maybe Street Fighter? I know you like that game. And I'm like, I never thought I would hear this menacing evil clown name drop Street Fighter. It's actually kind of amazing. And then he attacks him, and Richie runs away and shit, and like everybody else, I don't know, fucking Ben, he goes back to the old school, and he remembers that time he was chased by Pennywise pretending to be Beverly, and her hair was on fire because of the Your Hair is Winter Fire poem, which I guess, like, it didn't, like, they really focus a lot on that poem, like, he even says it later, and I'm just like, no, there's no time for this. Then he hides in a locker, and shit gets really scary, and Pennywise is there, he calls him fat. Oh, he says, kiss me, fat boy, doesn't he? Just like in the old miniseries. That's fun. But yeah. And he runs away, and yeah. And then Eddie's was fucking gross. Like, he goes into the basement of a pharmacy as a kid, and his mom is down there. It's kind of like, it does feel very dreamlike, as though that is a dream you could see somebody having, like a nightmare somebody would have. His mom is in the basement of this pharmacy, and it's really creepy, and then the leper from the first movie attacks them, and then it barfs all over him, and it's nasty. And then everybody regroups back at their hotel or bed and breakfast. You never see anybody working there. Everybody just chill with it. And Eddie's in the bathroom, and he gets attacked by Henry. And Henry stabs him in the face with the knife. Well, it was the knife from the first movie. His bro gave it to him. I don't know if I mentioned that. This is a long fucking movie. And then Eddie stabs him back, and then I guess he jumps out the window, and you see him down in the parking lot. He pulls the knife out of himself, and he runs away off to the street where a car is parked waiting for him. And it's the car that the zombie dude is driving. They don't show the zombie dude this time, but he's definitely still in the car. Seriously. You couldn't just have him, like, steal a car on his own and just drive it himself. Why does he have a zombie chauffeur? I don't understand. Oh, this movie's silly, and it's long. See, I try to be smart, because, when I see movies that I really want to see, I haven't been to the movies in forever, but I always try to go at the Saturday morning screenings, because they're always discounted, and for a horror movie bonus, you get the whole day ahead of you to completely forget that you saw a horror movie, and you can actually get to sleep at night. Didn't exactly work with the first movie, but the first movie I felt was a lot scarier. It wasn't as silly. But, maybe that's just my personal opinion. Either way, we cut back to Mike at the library, and he gets attacked by Henry, and then Richie shows up, friggin' tomahawks Henry in the head, and he is dead. Henry is dead. And I guess this was sort of a split from the book, I think. At least that's what I heard on Tumblr. Apparently Mike was supposed to be injured and end up in the hospital, and he didn't actually end up going down to fight Pennywise, but they changed that, which is good, because they made a big stinking deal about how they all need to be together to fight it, so yeah, they do that. And everybody meets up there, except... Oh, that's the thing I forgot. Bill, he gets a vision of the kid he talked to skateboard, and he remembers that the kid told him he was going to the fair because there's a big fair going on, and there's a fun house there, and we all saw this in the trailer. It was sad in the trailer. It's sad here too. It's sad here too. Yeah, so he runs into the fun house, doesn't pay for a ticket, very bad etiquette, and he ends up in a funhouse maze, or like the mirror maze. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all saw the trailer. And yeah, Pennywise does the weird Snapchat dog face thing and licks the window or the glass or whatever, and he basically eats the kid, and he is traumatized, and he decides to go fight Pennywise on his own, and everybody else meets him at the house, which, you know, Pennywise has got to be pulling some crazy fucking magic on this town, because that house has been standing there for 27 motherfucking years, and nobody has said shit. Nobody's been like, hey man, can we like zone this? This is in the middle of a suburb. Can we build a house here? No, it's just been sitting there forever. Either way, they all go in, and Richie said, let's kill this fucking clown, and they're just like, yeah, let's kill this fucking clown, and they all go in, and listen, I knew this would happen, because it sort of happened in the miniseries, which I knew, and that's Stanley is in the fridge, and his head falls out and rolls along the floor, and then he's looking at them, and he's like, this is your fault. Because, you know, fair. It's fine. It's fine. And then he turns into a video game monster. I'm not even kidding about this. His head starts sprouting weird crab spider leg things, and I'm just thinking back to that one video game enemy, that one Unity asset of the head spider thing, and I'm just like, yeah, we've seen this. This guy's a video game enemy. But he attacks them, and meanwhile, Pennywise is, like, they got split up by Pennywise, he's doing some weird shit, Beverly breaks a mirror, whatever. They figure some shit out, and Eddie is a coward. It's foreshadowing, don't worry about it. And they all go down the well. They end up in the sewers. They end up back at that place where, like, all the kids were floating in the air. Well, there's no kids there, which kind of ruins the aesthetic of the whole thing. Also, it's full of water. Not as fun. And they go down an even deeper hole, like, to the crash site of where it landed, I suppose. I know I'd probably figure this out if I read the book, but does Pennywise have a real name? Like, I know they call it It. Does he have, like, a weird Cthulhu name or something like that? I don't know. I know the friggin' magic universe barfing turtle wasn't in this, so what do I know? So they all go down there. They end up in the middle of a room, big old cave, and they do the ritual. They have to burn all the tokens that they got, because, yeah, they all ended up with different things. They throw them into this box thing Mike has been carrying around the whole movie, and they burn shit, and they think they've got it, like, trapped. The deadlights float down from the ceiling, but then a giant balloon comes out of the thing, so it didn't work. And it's revealed that Mike lied because he learned this ritual from the Native Americans, and apparently the last time it didn't work at all. And Mike, he says it was supposed to work this time because everybody was brave and shit. I don't know. It's all ridiculous. And then Pennywise is like a giant spider crab thing. Which, granted, I know he was before, but before he was just like a big spider crab thing, but now he's a big spider crab thing that is also a clown. And I gotta be real with y'all. It's not scary. It's entertaining, but it's not scary. He's just a big CGI monster. It's, it kind of makes me feel bad for the dude that played him, because he does a really good job of playing Pennywise, and now he's just a CG thing. Yeah. So everybody runs off in different directions. They all deal with their trauma in various ways. Yeah, I don't... Like, Richie and Eddie, they end up at the doors that were, like, scary, not scary, and everything like that. They get scared by a Pomeranian, which is also CG and not very scary. Kind of lowering the buzz here. Like, Bill has to face up to his survivor's guilt, and he basically shoots his younger self in the head because his younger self was Pennywise. Yeah. I mean, Georgie was there. He had a new catchphrase. It was, "You lied and I died." Everything. I think it was new. I don't know. This movie's 3 hours long. Yeah, and then Beverly and Ben, they're drowning in blood and dirt and shit. They confess that they like each other, and yeah, drama, emotions, feelings, things. Anyway, so I guess this is the part where I have to talk about, like, the saddest part of the movie, which is Eddie throws a spear, or like a spear thing, at Pennywise, and he thinks he kills him, but then he gets stabbed, and yeah, Eddie dies. The fangirls all cry because, like, those, like, everybody who saw the first movie and was like, "Oh, I totally ship Reddy," they knew what they were getting themselves into. They were still sad anyway. I know it. I saw the Tumblr post. Anyway, so yeah, they basically figure out that the way to defeat Pennywise is by telling him they ain't fucking afraid of him and calling him a clown. Like, it's like they did a call-out post for him on Twitter, and that scared him off. They just walk up to him and be like, "We ain't afraid of you, you fucking clown." And then he's just like, "Oh no, don't call me a clown." And then he shrinks, and he's small, and, like, I don't know. It's like if that weird Voldemort fetus from Harry Potter was a clown, and then they rip out his heart and they kill him. And then Eddie's dead. Everybody's really sad. And then the building explodes. Okay, it doesn't explode. Everything collapses and the house collapses. They all make it out just in time. They had to leave Eddie's body there, which is kind of a bummer, but whatever. And then everybody, like, figures shit out. They go cliff diving again like they did in the first movie. They clean themselves off because everybody's covered in blood and dirt and fucking puke, and it's disgusting. So, that's it. Ben and Beverly, they get together. Bill finally writes a book that doesn't suck. Richie, I guess, like, they showed a thing where he carved R plus E onto a bridge, and he goes back and like carves it in again. I don't know. So I guess he accepted that he was super gay for Eddie, which, just backstab the fangirls a little. That's fine. It's fine. Didn't need to feel happy anyway. And finally, Mike, after all this time, can escape the hell that is Derry. He's like, "We killed the clown. I can finally leave." Just, you know what? Good for him. He lived at the top of a library. He lived in the attic of a library for God knows how long he lived there for, but after 27 years, he can finally fucking leave that shitty town. My God. That poor guy. Oh yeah, and everybody got a letter from Stan that was like, "Yo, I knew I was weak as fuck, and if I went with you guys to fight it, we would all die, so I killed myself." It's really sad. Yeah. I'm still thinking you could just, I know I wouldn't be able to do it because I'm not that good of an editor, but somebody, if they just took like maybe like all the footage from the movies plus some deleted scenes that might be hanging around, you could just edit it together into a very nice, heartwarming coming of age movie and getting over your shared trauma movie without spooky shit. Well, I guess it wasn't that spooky. I mean, yeah, the jump scares were kind of freaky, but once you see how CG the monsters are, they really stop being scary, and it's just kind of, it's entertaining, but it's not really all that scary. I mean, the first movie was like proper scary, but I I don't know. Maybe it's just cuz the movie was like centered around adults this time around. You know, it's not as scary when it's not kids being threatened by this thing, you know? I don't know. I guess that's all I had to say about it. How long did that take? Oh no, it's been a half hour. I'm so sorry. Oh, I better not upload this. I'm probably gonna upload this, aren't I? I've made so many mistakes. Why did I do this? Oh my god. Alright, I'm gonna go. I should go make a review. I should do that. Idiot over here. Bye.